Greetings and welcome to 401k Real Chat, where we interview leading and innovative DC industry leaders. My name is Fred Barstein, CEO at Trout, TPSU, and 401k TV, and contributing editor at wealthmanagement.com's RPA Omnichannel. Today, we are chatting with Mike Shamburger, head of core markets and retirement plan sales at T. Rowe Price. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Fred. I appreciate it.
So, Mike, the relationship between advisors and record keepers is changing and evolving. Can you discuss how that is changing, especially with the convergence of wealth and retirement at the workplace, as well as industry consolidation?
Yeah, I think there's several trends, Fred, that I think are changing and evolving how advisors engage in the retirement sector. I think one important trend that we've both seen is advisor consolidation, right? So a lot of advisors are joining new firms or being acquired, right, which is changing their model a bit. And a lot of the strict retirement only advisors that we've worked with for years and years now are looking for ways to develop additional revenue streams for their practice, right? And they're almost being required to do that by their new ownership. So I think that's an evolution point or trend that we're seeing in the marketplace. I think secondly, the convergence of wealth and retirement, as you mentioned, it's happening everywhere. And I think T. Rowe Price puts us in a very unique position, I think, because we have very strong businesses that serve the advisor across the full spectrum of the practice, right? From wealth all the way through to record keeping and then DCIO, which is kind of in between. So we're a little bit unique in that sense. So I think that's a trend that creates some opportunity. And then lastly, the other trend I think advisors really need to be tuned into is the consolidation on the record keeping side, which we anticipate will continue, right? And that creates a lot of disruption for advisors as they built a successful book of business. It puts a lot of pressure on their business and on their associates, right, when those acquisitions begin to happen and there's a lot of change and turmoil there. So all three of those, I think, are changing the way advisors need to operate when it comes to the record keeping space and the things that they need to think about.
Yeah, one of the things, Mike, I'd like to hear from you is, with that convergence, previously the advisor and the record keeper partnered on the plan level, but now with the participants, sometimes they can be in competition, and that can be a difficult situation
Right.
with the advisors. How do you see that happening and evolving?
Well, I think it's been the record keepers. It's funny, yeah. So the record keepers, I think, have experienced that in the past due to fee consolidation, right? We've continued to have our fees reduced. Now, I think financial advisors are beginning to feel some of that challenge as well. So their fees are being reduced there. So I think going forward, what that's creating is a little bit of conflict, I think, at times between certain record keepers, depending on their business model, of course. But many of the record keepers out there have a need now to generate additional revenue. So the question for them becomes, do I need to tap into the wealth opportunity, right, to try to support my participant base differently and cross-sell into that base? Or do I want to align with the advisor, and can I support the advisor in their efforts to draw on that same revenue? The unique thing for T. Rowe Price is we're not in that position. Our business model's unique to many of the record keepers in the industry, in the sense that we do two things and we do them really well. We record keep, we provide great record keeping services to our clients, and we combine that with exceptional investment management. When we can put those two things together, it creates a conflict-free business model. So it allows us to sit on the side of the table with the advisor and really understand their strategic priorities and figure out how can we assist them through our record keeping capabilities.
Mike, what are the most important factors that RPA should consider when deciding which record keeper they should be partnering with?
It's a great question, Fred. I think there's two factors that are kind of table stakes that most advisors would probably agree on and are conscious of today. I think one of those is just quality of product offer. Their goal is to maximize the amount of value they're delivering to their clients and their participant base. So quality product is going to be really, really important for them. I think secondly, service delivery is really important because that dictates how efficient it is for that advisor to manage their book of business. And also, there's a halo effect too with client satisfaction and the last 7 years in a row, T Rowe's led the industry in terms of client satisfaction within the Chatham universe. So there's a real benefit to that to the advisor because they know they're getting high quality, both product and service delivery. There's two other factors that I think should be on their radar. I think one is the business model, meaning does the firms that they're working with have a long-term commitment to retirement, right? And I've been through that with a prior employer where we actually exited or sold the retirement or record keeping business at that point, and the amount of disruption that created for advisors that I saw personally will boggle your mind. If they have a large book of business and there is an acquisition situation, that's a real challenge for their practice. So I think the commitment to the business, the scale that the record keeper has within the business, is that sufficient? And then better understanding their business models too. How do they make money, right? And how do they run a successful business going forward is going to be more and more important, because at times we're seeing record keepers now, because of fee compression, they're creating conflict sometimes with advisors where they need to maximize their revenue on their side to make record keeping sustainable, while the advisor is at odds with that because they're trying to maximize their revenue on the other side, right? At T Rowe, we don't have that type of conflict. Our business model is simplified. We combine best-in-class record keeping with best-in-class asset management, and that creates a really healthy, sustainable, and attractive economic model for us. So I feel like we're positioned really well to meet those needs for our advisor base.
Mike, T. Rowe Price has a rich history working with mid-market and larger DC plans dating back to the 1990s, but the RPA focus is a bit newer. Can you explain why T. Rowe Price decided to focus on RPAs and what services and support that you offer these advisors?
Absolutely. So I think we're reading the industry, Fred, as you are every day too, and as many of our advisors are trying to do. And there's trends that we see in the industry that are really creating an environment and opportunity for us to, I think, deliver in a very differentiated way. The advisor consolidation that we've seen means many of our RPA advisors have changing priorities too. Their business models are evolving, right? And again, they're going to look for ways to drive additional revenue, and they're going to be required to do that. I think the convergence of wealth and retirement too, there's much more of a focus on how can we bridge and create a bridge between our retirement plan business and the participant base on that side, and make sure the advisor can meet more of their needs. And of course, they have many needs beyond just retirement accumulation. And then consolidation of record keepers as well, right, creates some disruption in the marketplace. So all three of those things kind of come together, and they create a unique path for T. Rowe Price. One, because of our business model, we don't feel like, we're confident that we have a very sustainable business model, and we've made significant investments and commitments to that business model for a long, long time. So we feel like that part we can check the box and prove to advisors that we've got a business model that they can count on. Secondly, I think in the convergence of wealth and retirement, we have an opportunity to do some very unique things. We think we can build that bridge. And when we look at the digital experience that we create through record keeping, there's the ability to leverage that to help drive things like branding for the advisor, even custom messaging, right, to those participants. We have a tremendous amount of data on those participants too to understand what their needs are. So it even makes lead generation for the advisor within that scale. There are no other record keepers, I feel like, that are lining up to try to deliver on those things. So T. Rowe's made a commitment that we're going to deliver for the advisor, and we're not only going to provide them exceptional service for their clients, but we're also going to find ways to help them grow their practice and run a more successful retirement practice.
Thanks, Mike. That's all the time we have for today. I've been chatting with Mike Shamburger, head of core markets and retirement plan sales at T. Rowe Price. Thanks for joining us today, Mike.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate you having me.
And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more programs like this.